Hello everybody, welcome. This is going to be my last reflection for a couple of weeks as I've decided to take a short break as I've been working non-stop through since last September. So this is my reflection just to see us through for the next couple of weeks on the readings for the second Sunday of Lent. Now, salvation through faith in God's grace has become a cornerstone of the Christian faith, almost as if it was always self-evident. But how did St. Paul first come to that judgment? Because surely the Jewish faith was built on law, wasn't it? Observing the law that was inaugurated through Moses, receiving the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai, and all the subsequent revelations that governed every aspect of a person's life that flowed from that point on. But actually, Paul goes back much further than Moses, to the very father and progenitor of the people of Israel, Abraham. Everything flows from Abraham. He is the very start of it all, and today three faiths, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, recognise Abraham as our spiritual father. So in a sense you could say all those three monotheistic religions are all cousins to each other. What struck Paul like a sledgehammer was that when Abraham was declared righteous before God, not that he actually was completely righteous, but he was declared righteous before God. In God's eyes, he was righteous. It wasn't through observance of any law, because the law didn't yet exist and wouldn't do for another few hundred years. No, Abraham was declared right with God because he believed God. In Genesis 15:6 it says so. And as Abraham is the spiritual father of us all, we inherit that blessing, if you like. Now, belief can be expressed as trust, and trusting that God can achieve his promises despite all evidence to the contrary. That's a special kind of trust. Now, trust existed alongside doubts, even in that existing original story. Both Abraham and Sarah famously doubted and laughed at God's promise. So if we're taking this story as our template for faith, as Paul did, then we can see for ourselves that trust and doubt do indeed go together. Not exactly like a horse and carriage, but they do go together. Trust and doubt in human beings. Because I wonder how many Christians have beaten themselves up because they feel guilty about having doubts. But trust is an act of will that transcends the doubts that are normal in all people. We choose to trust despite our fears and doubts. And in the case of Jesus, despite where it could actually lead. I mean, how much Jesus really perceived about what might happen when he went to Jerusalem, I don't know, but he trusted his Father that what he was going to do was the right and good thing to do, and it was God's will. So much so that when Peter suggested that he avoid or try to avoid the suffering that was God's will, he called Peter Satan, which I think you'll agree is pretty strong stuff. It is a commonplace that nowhere in the New Testament does Jesus ever ask for doesn't ask for anyone's worship. That's true. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't worship. It just means that he didn't ask for it. But he does ask or instructs us directly 13 times, directly that is, for people to follow him. And we follow him, as I said just quite recently, by imitating him. We follow him by imitating Christ. Because as Jesus said, I am the way, the truth and the life, but I am the way. The way or the road that Jesus walked is our template for how we approach life. It might help to see your life as a kind of a long and winding road, as the Beatles once sang. But which road are we on? Think about Jesus' crucifixion. Jesus didn't want to do it. Think of the prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane where he sweated blood and yet said, not my will, Lord, but yours. He trusted that God would stay faithful to him despite what was going to happen to him and everything that did actually happen to him. When Jesus died on the cross in agony, preaching forgiveness of his persecutors as he died, so continuing to trust God and his way of forgiveness and peace right up to the end, everyone thought that he had been finished, abandoned, friend and foe alike, and the disciples largely scattered. But God remained faithful and raised Jesus victorious on the third day. Christus Victor. That's the way to see the resurrection of Jesus Christ as Christ's victory over death. It's God's yes to the way of truth and peace and forgiveness and mercy. The faithfulness of God extends beyond this mortal life, which leads me to remember the old maxim about finding belief in God difficult and fraught with doubt. And essentially, it goes like this. Well, you may have difficulty believing in God, but God believes in you. Amen. And may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of his Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. And may the blessing of God Almighty, Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with you now and remain with you forever. Amen. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.